Hello, everybody. Happy Thursday. It's almost Friday. Wow, this week went by so fast, didn't it? Did you have a great day at school? I hope so. And then maybe you have some plans coming up for the weekend that you're excited about. Well, it is just going to be an awesome day at Just Lead. Group 2 is going swimming today. And then tomorrow, oh man, tomorrow, y'all just not going to know what to do with yourselves because tomorrow we are going to have a cooking day. But the cooking day is going to be Halloween themed. So we're making Halloween food tomorrow and drinks, and you are just going to love it so much. And so I'm really excited about tomorrow. And so I think you have a reason to be excited for it too. So let's just have a wonderful day at Just Lead and then look forward to tomorrow. And then it's the weekend. We're almost done. All right, guys. So today I want you to do something with me. First, I want you to take your index fingers. It's these right here. Okay. And what I want you to do, I want you to make your index fingers go in a circle and go the same direction, like this right here. Can you do that? Same direction. Now, we're going to do something a little tricky here. We're going to make our fingers go in the same direction, but go really, really fast. Now, watch what happens. Okay, we're going to make them go really fast. Okay, here we go. We'll start off slow. Now go really, really fast. Really, really, really fast. Look at that. Look what happens. They're going the opposite direction now. Try it again. Okay, this time. We'll start off slow. Slow, slow, slow. Go really fast, go really fast, go really fast, go really fast, go really fast. Look what's happening. They're going in opposite directions. They're not going in the same directions anymore. They're going in opposite directions. Well, that is something. And you can, if you want to with your class, you can stop the video and do it a couple of times as a class. That is something that some people feel is impossible to do, to go really, really fast and have the fingers pointing the same direction. But it is possible. But some people feel like it's impossible because it is something that is hard to do. Well, maybe there's something that you feel like is impossible because it's just hard to do. And it's just something that takes a lot of practice. I'll give you a little story here. I actually told this to group 1 yesterday. So when I was in the 4th grade, I was learning how to ride a bicycle. And my uncle was helping me, and it just seemed impossible. I just wasn't getting it. And then later, I got it after lots and lots of tries. But what's cool about it is that when I was practicing, I actually fell over on my bike in the middle of the road. And it made a terrible, terrible gash on my knee. And I'm going to show you because today the scar is still there. You want to see? Okay, so you can see, you not can see with the light very well, but I have a scar that's right there. And later, if you can't see it, later you can come up to me and I will show you my scar. But I've had that scar ever since I was in the 4th grade. And because it made a terrible gash on my knee. But that just goes to show that there was something that I did that was really, really hard to do. And I thought it was going to be impossible. But I ended up learning how to ride my bike. And I can ride a bike today, no problem. There's lots of things that you're going to do that you feel like are impossible, that are hard. They're just hard to do, but you can do it. So we have been talking about, what's that man's name again? Oh yeah, Gideon. We've been talking about Gideon. And remember, Gideon had to go and fight a great big battle. And with not very many men, he thought it was going to be impossible. But he did it. And they defeated those Midianites, didn't they? Well, let's read in the Bible about God understands that we do hard things and we feel like they're impossible. So I'm reading to you from a book in the Bible called Hebrews. See Hebrews? And I'm reading to you from Hebrews chapter 4. Here's chapter 4. See? And I'm reading verses 15 through 16. So listen carefully. All right. For we do not have... Am I doing this right? I'm going to read this version over here. Jesus understands every weakness of ours because he was tempted in every way that we are, but he did not sin. So whenever we are in need, we should come bravely before the throne of our merciful God. Therefore, there we will be treated with undeserved kindness and we will find help. So, did you know that Jesus, when he was on the earth, he had to do a lot of things that were not easy. And a lot of the things he had to do are the same things that we face that are hard. But Jesus did not sin. How many of you, when you do something hard, how many of you get really, really mad and you throw things? You throw things when things are hard? How many of you scream? How many of us have screamed ugly things? It's easy to do because when we get frustrated, we're humans. We do things that we shouldn't do. But Jesus did not. Jesus remained perfect until he died. He had no sin in his life. And Jesus still had to do some hard things that we have to do. Listen to it. He grew up like us. He had brothers and sisters in Christ. He had to work. Is it hard to work? Oh, yeah. You know, you come to Just Lead every day and have to do work, and some of you don't like doing it. It's hard. Yeah. His friend betrayed him. Judas betrayed Jesus. Have you ever had a friend that did something mean to you? What did you do afterwards? I've had those moments, but Jesus did not sin when that happened to him. People lied about him. People were rude to him. He had no home. Did you know that? Jesus pretty much lived his entire life traveling lots of places, and he didn't have a home to go to. He was tempted. Do you know that? The devil tempted Jesus. And he died a very awful death by people killing him. It was really awful. But Jesus did not sin. But he knows what it's like to live the life that we lived. So how can Jesus help us? Can he? Oh, yeah. Jesus really can help. He knows what it's like to be us, and he will give us peace and wisdom and strength and patience and courage when we need it. We just have to ask him. How do we ask him? By prayer. We get on our hands and our knees and we say, God, I am struggling. Can you help me? So when you got a task like the one that we were just doing, where it's so hard, we have to practice to get it right. And then you have a hard time with it, you ask God for help and he will help you. I promise. All right, guys. We're going to stop there and we're going to do our memory verse. Okay, so remember, this is for light. This is for others will see good you do and will praise your Father in heaven. All right, let's try it all together. 1, 2, 3. Make your light shine so that others will see good that you do and will praise your Father in heaven. Matthew chapter 5, verse 16. Remember, we're making a 1 and a 6 for 16. Okay, let's do it again. Make your light shine so that others will see good that you do and will praise your Father in heaven. Matthew chapter 5, verse 16. Lovely job, guys. Great. Super proud of you for always trying. Okay, now let's go ahead and we're going to sing our new song that we started learning on Tuesday. Remember, you got your building for the wise man. Wise man built his house. Okay, I did something kind of weird last time. The wise man built his house upon the rock. Can you imagine putting your house on top of a rock that was pointed like this? That's not what he did. So we're going to go. The wise man built his house upon the rock. Okay, because he had a firm rock that he built his house upon. Now this time, the rains came and tumbling down. So it's the rains came down and the floods came up. Okay, and the wise man's house stood firm. So you just keep doing that. All right, can you try it with me? The wise man built his house upon the rock. The wise man built his house upon the rock. The wise man built his house upon the rock, and the rains came a-tumbling down. Oh, the rains came down as the floods came up. The rains came down as the floods came up. The rains came down as the floods came up, and the wise man's house stood firm. Oh, wonderful job. You know what? I think you did so well. Let's learn the next part. Now the story switches to a foolish man. What does foolish mean? Not making wise choices, not making good choices. Okay? So the foolish man built his house upon the sand. What happens when you put stuff in sand? What does it do? A lot of time it sinks if you let it sit there for a long time, especially if water comes up and goes into the sand. It makes it sink. So if you build your house on top of sand and the water comes in, what's your house going to do? It's going to sink, and that's what happened to him. So the foolish man built his house upon the sand, and the rains came a-tumbling down. The rains came down as the floods came up, and the wise man's house went splat. Okay, it fell in. It didn't work for him. So you go, foolish man built his house upon the sand. The foolish man built his house upon the sand. Foolish man built his house upon the sand, and the rains came a-tumbling down. Oh, the rains came down as the floods came up. The rains came down as the floods came up. The rains came down as the floods came up, and the foolish man's house went splat. Very good. Okay, do you think that we can try the first part and the second part together? I think we can. Let's do it. Start from the beginning. The wise man built his house upon the rock. The wise man built his house upon the rock. The wise man built his house upon the rock, and the rains came a-tumbling down. Oh, the rains came down as the floods came up. The rains came down as the floods came up. The rains came down as the floods came up, and the wise man's house stood firm. Oh, the foolish man built his house upon the sand. Foolish man built his house upon the sand. Foolish man built his house upon the sand, and the rains came a-tumbling down. Oh, the rains came down as the floods came up. The rains came down as the floods came up. The rains came down as the floods came up, and the foolish man's house went splat. Very good. We're not done with the song yet, but that was good for today. All right, guys. Lovely job. Now, let's do our rules. Now, remember, we've got some new friends. We've got Gary, Queen, and Elena. And so we're just going to go down these rules and just, we're going to read them out loud together. And then next week, to get them more familiar with it. And then next week, I'll do the thing where, like, I say part of it and then you say the rest. But just today, we're just going to read it. All right, here we go. Number 1, listen and follow directions the first time. Number 2, raise your hand and don't blurt out. 3, Respect others with your words and don't use foul language. 4, keep hands and feet to yourself. 5, no cell phones, electronics, or toys in program. Number 6, respect the property. 7, no illegal drugs and no weapons. 8, remain seated facing the front and quiet on all buses and vans. Number 9, no kicking the balls in the gym unless it's a dodgeball. 10, stay out of the ice machine. 11, hang up all backpacks and coats. 12, remain seated while eating snack. Ooh, excuse me, guys. 13, delayed obedience is disobedience. And last but not least, number 14, keep your shoes on your feet at all times. There we go. All right, guys, it's going to be a lovely day. I hope you enjoy yourself. I hope you remember to be a bucket filler. Be a bucket filler means being kind to others and doing nice things for others to make them feel good. And it also makes you feel good to do it. Don't be a bucket dipper. Bucket dipper means you do mean things and do not nice things to others, and then it makes you feel bad. Remember, that's dipping from someone's bucket. We don't want to do that. We're bucket fillers, okay? And remember that I love you, we love you, and God loves you. Have a great day.